Hey guys, Ray from Olivia RV and Boat. So we're down in the desert, made it down to where it's nice and sunny and dry. So I've been doing some roof maintenance. Been probably about a year since I've done it, and the RV was in storage for 4 months while we were on the boat. And then we were in BC during the fall and down the Oregon coast, so got a ton of rain. Also, I find when we're in the fall, if we're camping under a lot of trees, I get a lot of leaves land on the roof, kind of stain it up. But after a few washes, and once we get down to the sun, kind of bleaches it back. Doesn't look too bad. So this time I've pulled all my vent covers off just to sort of see how things are going underneath there. Probably about almost 10 years ago now, I changed this vent and put a fan in there. Fantastic type fan. So that was like 2014. And at that time, I used roofing tape as a sealant. Worked out good. So I kind of went whole hog and did the roof at that point. The rig was out of warranty, so there wasn't an issue there with them saying, oh, you can't use that. You have to use the Dicor lap sealant. And so what I had done is I cleaned the sealant really well underneath because it was still good, and then taped her up, and you can see it's still sealed well. I haven't had to do really any maintenance to the seal at all. And see, I did around my fridge vent there, and also around the front vents, and they've all been perfect. So it's worked out really well for me. Like, your mileage may vary. I live in a climate in BC in the summers and down here in the winter that I don't have really harsh temperatures that would, get so hot it might melt and lift the tape, that sort of thing. You can see this is fairly new tape here. That's because this I broke this skylight maybe a year or so ago. I had my Starlink up here, and a big gust of wind kind of blew it, and it poked a hole in the skylight, so I had to change it. And people often say about the tape, oh, it's really hard to get off if you ever have to change a skylight or a vent. But all I did was carefully cut the old tape around, pulled the skylight out, put the new skylight in, and then just simply put more tape over it. Works fine. I don't know what happened to this skylight. This is not very old, and kind of a coating on it. Crazed, as you can see. So, not really happy about that, but I guess it's still working. Other things on here, you can see these vents for the tanks. They're called a 360 siphon, and they worked really well over the years. Been happy with those. Going forward, you can see the solar panels. These solar panels are Renogy 100-watt panels. They were installed, I think, 9 years and 8 years ago, and they're still working fine. People ask me, how did you install them? Well, you can see here, first I put down some tape. Then I used the screws that came with the panels, and I have 3/8 board under here, so I put the screws in with some sealant on the screws and screwed them in just till they still bit, but I didn't strip the threads. And then I covered them with lap sealant, and you can see they're still solid. And we've gone on a lot of rough roads, hasn't been any problem. And that's the same with all my panels. You can see back here, I have some more panels there, and they've been no problem either. So like I say, I like to pull all the vent covers and just check things. Here's my fridge. Make sure there's no insects or birds have gotten in here or anything. These are my Titan fans. I think these have been installed about 2.5 years ago, no problem. They just suck the heat out and help ventilate heat out of the fridge cooling stack in there. You look at the tape around there. I also taped all along the sides, sort of for protection. If we hit any trees or anything, and also to kind of seal along that drip rail there. And that's worked out good. And you can see I also use the tape for holding down my solar wiring. I've added solar over the years, and you can see I've used that to run lines across. Also, that's a Wi-Fi booster, same thing. It goes down through the fridge vent there, so the tapes come in handy for that. And for patching, this was a patch I did at one point where there was a staple had popped up, and another patch there where the rubber roof had torn or something. But you can see it looks like there's something painted on. So that's an acrylic coating from Alpha Systems. And I did that a few years ago. Had to lay down an adhesive and then the acrylic coating. But the nice thing about this coating is it can be painted over itself. So I've done that once, and I think it's really helped to seal everything up. The coating will go right over the tape and it sticks to the tape. Gives me a nice seal. So we haven't had any leaks at all in this RV. And the RV, at least from the roof, and the RV is pushing 14 years old now. There's another solar panel for a security camera. And then these vent covers I've been happy with. They were expensive. They're fantastic vents. And they just use a better quality, kind of thicker plastic than a lot of them. I think they were called Ventmate when I first got the rig. And they kind of turned all black and weird in about 3 or 4 years. Whereas these have handled the sun really well. Some people don't use vents if they're vent covers if they're in, California. It's always dry or whatever, but where we're from, it's always raining, so you want to have your vents open to let moisture out, but you don't want a bunch of rain coming in. Look at the side rail here. I just put it down and kind of folded it over across into the gutter. These are the panels that I most recently installed, but even they're pushing probably 5 years now, and they've worked out well. I did the same thing with them. For the panels, I always try to put them near the edge, because the edge has a nice beam, so at least I get two pieces really hooked in to a really stiff beam to put the screws through, and then the other goes through the roof, and I may or may not hit a stud. You just never know. This slide roof I did replace. It's not a coating. It's, I think, a TPO material called Superflex, and I replaced it a few years ago because the slide roof for some reason was disintegrating a lot worse than the main roof, and it was starting to get a lot of black marks, causing a lot of disintegration on the rubber roof. So I tore it right off and put down this roof, and it's been fine. And you can see I kind of used some tape along here too, because there's a seam and screws along there. So I like to run a piece of tape there, and also along the edge, because you can see I used the ladder to get up here. I have a walk-on slide roof even. This old Cougar's built really well. So you can see I just put my ladder up there, because I don't like to use the old Cougar ladder. I'm pushing 200 pounds sometimes. And I just don't trust it as much, and it's a little awkward to get up. It's easier to use my ladder. So the ladder becomes a support for my sewer tote. See down there, and different gadgets, weather station, flagpole. And then you can see there's another solar panel I've just put here. I'm testing a camera from Reolink there. And I've just put the solar panel there. And all I've done to mount that is to use some of the lap sealant. You can see I also have a rear view camera for when I'm driving, and also use lap sealant there. And I've been trying some new stuff actually. It's a little cheaper than the traditional Dicor. It's called Xylo or something. RV Flex Repair caulking lap sealant, self-leveling, white, lifetime warranty. So bought 4 tubes of that. I'm going to give it a try. But so far it looks like it works really well. So anyway, I thought I'd just take a moment to give you a little bit of an update, kind of long-term update on various products and things I've used up on the roof that seem to have worked for me. I do have one new job coming on the slide. I noticed that my wiper seal is finally just disintegrated. I did replace this kind of bulb seal on the outside. It started to fail, but now my wiper seal is starting to go really bad. I just noticed this trip down, it's just starting to just go all like disintegrating. I can just pull it apart now. It's all really soft. It's actually left a little bit of black on that side, so I'll order that up and that'll be in a future video, maintenance video. If you have any questions or comments, leave them below the video, and I'll also put links to previous installations of some of this stuff, products and that. Till next time, Ray from Love Your RV and Boat. Cheers, guys.